guys, today we are going to talk all about temping. So when it comes to TTC, the best way to know exactly what's happening in your body is by temping. Now, temping can also be used to avoid pregnancy, but I don't know anything about that really. I am trying to get pregnant, not trying to avoid pregnancy. So if you are looking to avoid, this is not the video for you, I'm sorry. If you are trying to get pregnant, using a BBT is the best way to know if you actually ovulated. There are other things that will tell you that your body is surging and leading up to ovulation, but should you not release an egg right in that moment, you wouldn't know that because you got your positive and you did your thing. This will tell you for sure if you actually ovulated. Now, you're going to want to join some kind of fertility website or app, some way that you can track your temperatures every day. Now, you want a basal body thermometer, not just a regular thermometer. This one gives you a bigger number. So instead of 98.6, it would be 98.64. And you need to know those little changes. That's what's going to tell you what is happening in your body. During your period, your temps are going to be all over the place. So I don't temp during my period. It's a personal choice. If you choose to temp, that's totally fine. I don't temp during my period because those numbers are everywhere because your hormones are changing and getting back to a normal level. Now, before ovulation, your temps are going to be pretty low. The day of ovulation, your temp's going to dip pretty severely, and then the next day it should go up high. So your pre-O temps were here, and your post-O temps are going to be up here. Now, if you're temping, you're not going to get for sure crosshairs to tell you exactly that you ovulated until 3 days are past, because to confirm ovulation, you have to have a dip and then a rise and a sustained rise for up to 3 days. And that will show that you did in fact ovulate. So if you are not actively TTCing right now, but you're gonna be soon, I would suggest starting to temp because then you can get a really good idea for when you actually ovulate. When they say you ovulate on cycle day 14, not everybody ovulates on cycle 14. I certainly do not. And I have PCOS, so the way I really know if I have ovulated is by this. And because I have PCOS, sometimes I have cycles where I don't ovulate at all. And this will tell you that as well. Even if I do get like a positive OPK, if this never went up, I didn't ovulate. I may have surged. It may have told me that one was about to rupture and move into the fallopian tubes. But if it didn't actually happen, there's no way to get pregnant if there's not an egg actually in your fallopian tubes. So this gives me that information. So temping is invaluable. To use this accurately, you want to take it at the same time every single day. I set an alarm for a time when I absolutely will not be awake. So I get up and I temp and I go back to sleep. And this records your last temp. So when I wake up later, I plug my temp into whatever. I use Fertility Friend and I also use OvaGraph.com. So I will plug my temperature in there. I typically wake up around 9, so I set an alarm for 6 a.m. And I wake up, I pop this in my mouth, it does its thing, I put it back on my nightstand and I go back to sleep. But that way I make sure that I get it at the same time every single day. There's not a time where typically I wake up at 9, but on Wednesdays I gotta wake up at like 8, and it's gonna screw things up. You wanna do it at the same time every day, otherwise you're not gonna get an accurate reading. A lot of people get hung up on the temp dip for the ovulation. The dip doesn't have to be huge. A lot of times it's a pretty significant dip, but it doesn't have to be. The dip is not nearly as important as the sustained rise. You want to see a difference between pre-ovulation and post-ovulation. There's going to be a noticeable difference in those two numbers. If post-ovulation you have another dip, it could be nothing or it could be an implantation dip, and that's great. If you get an implantation dip and then it goes even higher sustained, that's called a triphase chart. And there's a pretty good chance you might be pregnant should that happen. Unfortunately, your temp's not typically going to tell you if you're pregnant. You still have to wait it out. A lot of people try to find ways to look at their chart, look at their temps, and be like, oh, this is different than last month, I must be pregnant. Unfortunately, it can change every single month. So don't let it drive you crazy. That's that people get really anxious when it comes to temping, and I don't understand that because literally all you have to do is pop a thermometer in your mouth and write down the number. don't let it dictate anything else you do, especially the first few months while you're getting to know what your cycle looks like. Don't not have sex with your husband. You know, one of the best ways to get pregnant is just have sex every other day. If you are able to do that for as long as you can, there's a good chance you're going to catch it without doing any of this crap. But if you've been TTCing for a while and you're trying to maximize when things happen, you're trying to make sure that you have sex on the right days, I think charting is one of the best ways to do it. So don't, you know, I have a friend who like didn't have sex with her husband for a couple weeks because she was waiting for the right time. Don't do that. Just, you know, enjoy yourself, enjoy your husband. Don't make it a chore. Literally, pop this thing in your mouth, write the number down. That's all you have to do. So you can keep a paper chart, you can use Fertility Friend or OvaGraph, and the more you do it, the more you're going to get to know what your cycle looks like, the more you're going to understand exactly what these numbers mean. You're looking for a regular line and a higher, you know, regular temps, higher temps. That's what you're looking for. So I hope that cleared up any questions you might have. If you have any more, leave them down below. I'm happy to answer any questions. And if someone leaves a question and you might know the answer to it, go ahead and answer it. You know, this is a conversation. We need to support each other when it comes to TTCing. So let's not degrade each other. If you disagree with what someone has to say, let's be kind to one another. This is a difficult process. This is an emotional process. So let's be patient with one another. But if you have any questions, please leave them below. I am happy to answer any questions you might have. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button down below, and I will catch you guys next time.